Good evening, ladies. And I don't think I might have a gent on here in a little bit. You never know. So, good evening, everyone. Today is June the 20th, 2019. This is day 5 of the 5-day challenge of storytelling for your new small business. I am Dr. Yam, and I'm the host of the new Facebook group for ladies, women getting mad, motivated, accountable, and developed. I want to thank you guys for getting on the call with me this evening. This call is being recorded so that those of you who are unable to make the call will still have an opportunity to listen in later. Those that are on the call, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put you guys on mute by default, and then I'm going to open up the lines a little bit for if any questions. You do have on your screens an ability for chatting, so let me make sure that you guys can see that. Let me start right here real quick. There, okay, and I just want to make sure that no one bings when I come into the call. Okay, so we're muted there. Everybody can see my screen. There's a chat feature inside of the box. You can make sure that is up and type in something there. Hey everyone, there we go. Ask your questions in the chat feature in case you have any you wanted me to answer along the way. I will be asking you to put in some information as well, so feel free to do so. Thank you, Kadia. Great, you can see the screen, but you can't see me, right, Kadia? I think that's how I have it set up, so that'll be good. But you'll see me in a little bit. Okay, you can still see me. All right, great, even better. I wasn't sure because I screened, but that's good. I'm glad that all works out even better. So you can see me and the screen. All right. It's kind of hard when you're on the other side, you know what I mean? All right. So I'll edit out this part in the recorded version. So again, good evening, ladies and gents. And so what I'm going to do now is we're going to get right into our lesson for today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Yam. I am the Keep It Simple coach for the Small Biz Society and the newly formed Women Getting Mad for Motivated, Accountable, and Developed. This is for my solopreneurs, newbies who haven't started yet but are wanting a community where they can thrive and get started. And I am totally, totally excited that you guys are here today for that. So I have 20 years in the industry of coaching, teaching, mentoring, training, and I started my entrepreneurial journey back as a kid, selling lemonade, selling stationery, making stationery, babysitting services, selling Girl Scout cookies, you name it, I did it. And 5 years ago, I went from a 6-figure income employee to zero, back up to a 6-figure entrepreneur figure. So I'm quite proud of myself with respect to that. And along the way, I do specialize in working with small business, aspiring small business owners, as well as small business owners. And as a mentor and a coach, providing them systems and structures that will help them to ensure the success that they're going to need and keep them motivated as well. I take complex concepts and make them simple. I also am the host of Dreams to Launch meetup group here locally in the Fort Lauderdale area. I also host a podcast from time to time called Ask the Expert and a micro chirp podcast called Small Biz Society as well, and where I also provide knowledge and expertise to those who are in the entrepreneurial vein. So it's my pleasure to be with you all today. Over the past 5 days, you all have been engaged in the 8 ways in 5 days free storytelling training. This is a 5-day challenge, and this was set out particularly for those who have not started their business yet to get your juices flowing so that for those who are kind of unsure on how you can connect authentically or how to write better so that you can connect with your customers. And that's what this particular exercise is all about. And today is day 5 where we're going to test the waters and take action. And I know you guys have been really good. You've been reading the emails you've been getting every day at 7 a.m. in the morning. You may not be up, but the email is waiting for you when you get there. So let's do a little bit of a recap. You could take your notes out just to be sure. You could fill in some gaps as well. During day 1 of our exercise, the focus was really centered around, set this out here. Day 1 was centered on what type of work tasks you enjoy doing. It was really kind of focused on you, about your passions, about your background as far as your education, your certifications, your experiences after you left high school, and also to identify what are going to be some of the new learning that you may need to do. One thing that's going to be critically important as you claim to be an expert is that you need to stay on top of your game. And that means that you need to stay in touch with the industry and what's taking place, take webinars, seminars, workshops, whatever it is, so that you can give your best self to your potential customers. And then also wanted to look at some of your accomplishments, things that you've done in the past 12 months, the last 2 years or 5 years. All those little things start to add up. And finally, the thing that we also focused in about was about what makes you unique as an individual. And all of this is so that you have an opportunity to start to make connections, authentic connections with your potential customer. Believe it or not, they're not buying the product or the service, they're buying you. And so you have to start building that relationship with them so that they can know, like, and trust you, and then they'll be able to let go of the dollars and let them come into your inbox as well. So the whole point around this particular exercise is to start to really capture your thoughts, get you focused on the different types of information that you'll then be able to either, one, put all the little nuggets together and make an extended type of a bio or story, or chunk out all these bits of nuggets into smaller vignettes or story components that you'll be able to share with your potential customer in a variety of venues, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then in day 2, we really had an opportunity to focus on the customer or the client. And what is it that, who is it that you think is your target market? We discussed also what is a target market and how do you define who you are pitching your product or services to, and that you want to get as clear cut as possible, as specific as you possibly can. The more specific you are, the easier it is to connect and make the relevant connections with those potential customers, and those are going to be the ones who are going to want to connect with you as well. And also, what's unique about your business or your experiences that would make a potential connection with your customers? And again, you may not think it's important, or you may think it's weird. Even sometimes the weird and the bad stuff are the ones that people really connect with, because 9 times out of 10, you're not the first person to have that happen to you. And so that's why it's important to really dig deep, expose yourself a bit, because that's how people know that you're real. You don't want to be fake or come across as an imposter, we call it, because it's hard to maintain something that you're not really real about, and it's tiresome on top of that. So why put yourself through that when you don't have to? So just put the things down, be truthful. The good, the bad, and the ugly, I say, is all good information to put out there to your potential customers. The more real that they think you are, the more comfortable they're going to be to want to connect with you. And then we also discussed around why would anybody want to purchase from you? And the reason why you want to jot that down in particular is that way you can know how to use proper language around them. So there's got to be a reason why you think somebody will want to buy from you. And that's also going to be the people you're going to be wanting to give them reasons why they should buy from you as well. And then looking at your competition a bit around what is it that they offer, what markets are they serving, and then can you offer, what is it that you're going to be able to offer that they don't offer? You want to kind of have kind of what we call your spin, right? What is it that you do that's very more unique than what they're offering? You're always going to be in this broad umbrella, but you want to kind of poke a hole in that umbrella so that people will only kind of zoom in and like, oh, well, what does she do or what does he do? That's the type of, that's what you want to be able to convey to your customers and be able to separate yourself from them as well. And then what's going to make you different in comparing it to them. And you want to, and the other reason why you want to do that is that's the similar language you're going to put in your marketing materials. Other people do this while I do this, right? So that's how you'll start to separate yourself and you start to formulate a picture in the minds of your customers. And that's what's going to be really important. And while it sounds like a lot, this is why this exercise was designed particularly for you who are new, so that you really can start to think about all this content that you're creating by putting it down on paper or on your digital paper, wherever you're capturing it. But it's important that you go through this exercise before you even start about planning anything. And I know for some people, they're like, get to the planning. And well, this will get you there. This is a good chunk of it. It's a warm-up exercise with that in mind. And also looking at their names as a customer and kind of comparing, like, what are they naming their services, the business, their products, all those good things. We kind of took a peek into your competition, and that was what we kind of covered in day 2. Now, here in day 3, we were looking at your story and your brand. And particularly, how is it that you're looking to brand yourself to your potential customers? For instance, if you're a product, or even if you provide a service, do you do something where there's going to be kind of like a before and after results that you could share with your customers, i.e. beauty market makeovers, student improvement, the feedback from your customers, they're more productive. If you were able to do some type of a survey before and after, anything like that, a website redesign, like if they had a really cruddy one and how you reformed it and took it from looking like crap to looking like, you know, aces up. So weight loss, anything along those lines, it could be a useful means of sharing how you're impacting and making an impact for your potential customers. And then that also is like going to be able to show your customers that you are an expert in that, and then what does that look like? And then, of course, how you're going to be able to portray that graphically in your logo as well. So this is the other reason why this exercise is important. It will start to help you to formulate how do you want your particular logo that's a part of your branding. Your logo is not the brand, but is part of the branding and marketing aspect. And so once you start to really drill down on these details, it will help you to determine what type of a logo is best going to represent you. On day 4, we had an opportunity to look at how is it that you're going to be able to convey that information out onto into the world by well, I call it bragging, but this is your opportunity to really be out into that space and make that happen. And so your ability to increase your social proof is by way of getting into the public by podcasting, television programs, radio programs, local and worldwide or national, international, depending on what that industry is. Even your local radio stations is another platform that you may be able to tap into. They're always looking for those stories and what is it that you can bring to the table. Newscasts on the television, they always want to bring up the local news and what's kind of doing out in their community, and you could be contributing to that. And where are you going to get all the information for the questions they're going to ask you? I think you're going to find that back in the exercises we've been doing for the last 4 days. So this is, again, you got to be ready. And the other one is looking at opportunities where you can speak. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a professional speaker, but how else are you going to communicate with your customers if you don't speak? And it doesn't have to be a formal speaking. I'm not saying that you have to, rent out Carnegie Hall or anything, but it's one thing to write it down. It's another to how you're going to convey that and be comfortable and confident in sharing your story and your services to your customers. You can't hide behind everything unless you're really going to be doing something totally online. It doesn't require your interfacing or your face, but most people don't particularly like that unless you're some big brand and you're not there yet. So I'm sharing with you now that it's important for you to get into the practice of speaking publicly, even in small settings. Look at your Chamber of Commerce, look at meetup groups. There are Toastmaster groups, all there to help you practice. It's not even that you have to get perfect at it, but be practicing as well. So take all these different opportunities that wherever you get a chance to speak, small venues and large venues are always going to be things you're looking for. So be ready to accept them when they come. And this is why getting that bio ready is going to be even more important. And then today, our lesson was centered around testimonies and social media. Now, in testing the waters and taking action. Testimonies. Yes, you have just started your business. However, or you haven't even really launched the official business, but that doesn't mean that you cannot start to collect testimonies from people who you've done some type of service with that is related, or at least that they know you related to your services in some way, shape, or form. And the reason why you want to have a few, at least 3 or 4, is that it helps to give you credibility that, 1, you exist, 2, that you have performed levels of service, and that people can read about it and then determine for themselves if it's something that they want to move forward with, and if they at least know that you exist and that you have a proven record in a good way. And you want to be able to control that testimony and the promotional language that gets out there as much as you possibly can. And this is why it's important for you to have that website that you're going to be putting up for yourself once you take yourself through the masterclass, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then the other piece is around social media. Many of you probably are using social media for some of it just engaging with your family and your friends, but this is another platform and another tool that you will need to get used to utilizing for your business. And it's important because that's just where we are as a society. And that's where a majority of the marketing is taking place. Not to say that it's holding, it's not 100%. You still, word of mouth will always still be a viable option for you to connect with potential customers. But you want to have a balance between the things you do online and the things you do offline. So one of the things that I ask that for you to start thinking about are the social media platforms that you enjoy using or know how to use. How often do you think you could post to those particular platforms? And what would be the topics that you would want to be talking about or conveying? Now, just a quick tip, and that is everything is not about selling when you're on social media. It's about selling yourself as an individual and sharing your thoughts and being maybe even a thought leader if you're going to be writing. And so you have to, again, have that balance of selling products and services and just imparting knowledge and information. Because once people can see that you are adding value to them and to the group at large, they'll be more inclined to want to listen to you, and then you're able to make deeper connections with them. So that's just a point of information that is important for you to do. Also about photography or photographs, again, depending on your industry, some of you may be able to give some behind the scenes type of a look. People are very intrigued, particularly those of you who are producing products. People are very intrigued about how you go about your day or how you go about producing a particular product. or how you engage with your team, for those of you who are starting with more than yourself as a small business, and how you're meeting and how you're having conversations and making decisions, right? So there will be some opportunities where you may be able to share a snippet of what that looks like behind the scenes, even if from that, or just like you in your office space, and what it is that you're doing in order to prepare for a client and things along those lines. So those are just examples that are business, and also share things that are not business. People need to know that you are real, that you have a life besides your business. And it's good to be able to show that bit of information as well. You don't have to get deeply personal, but things like, you know, if you're going on a family trip, or you're going to the local fair, or running out to the bookstore, things, or just even taking a grocery shopping, you know, how is it that you may be, for us that are in the coaching world, and those of us who are already doing small business, people tend to think that we just sit at home all day and do nothing, and that's not true at all. So those are the types of things you really want to set that record straight, and being able to share that with them is always a good idea. So that kind of gave you a great review about some of the things that we've covered so far in our 5 days together, this being day 5. So as we've been going down this journey together, I'm going to ask you guys to pull up the chat component in the webinar. And have you started to really envision yourself in your business as a part of this process? How has this process helped you really start to envision yourself carrying out the idea that you want to start your own business? Put that in the chat if you'd like, please. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Plug up my, oh my thing, cool. Yeah, so talk to me about, has this exercise really helped you in visualizing you getting into business for yourself? It's important for me to know, so that way I'm making sure I'm meeting your particular needs as well, and that you're having the thoughts that you ought to be having that's going to be helpful for you. And then also, has this also helped in making you feel more confident about yourself and what you have to offer the world? I'm hoping that this too has changed your feelings, and that your level of confidence has allowed you to kind of really step in there. So yeah, thank you, Katia. The small details, right? I like that. In seeing yourself with your customers. Vision, positive affirmations and visualizing are critically important. Not to get too, I don't want to say sentimental, that's really not the word for it, but having a very positive outlook is going to be half of your battle in and of itself, and really starting to put that positive energy out there, and that's what you're going to start to attract as well. So the law of attraction, I can personally attest to, is working feverishly to those who put it out there. So just know that when you're going through this exercise and just moving forward as an entrepreneur, that the better disposition that you have in staying positive, you're going to attract the right people to your business. Plus, this is the other reason why it's important to have conversations and to articulate who you are and what you do, so that people hear it, and then that's another way for people to connect back with you. You would be surprised. And it may not be the person you're actually speaking to who comes forward in order to be your next client. But when you're confident enough to being able to offer that to your people, it just makes, they'll be able to carry your message out as well. So formulating a clear message to your customers or your potential customers is really going to be very, very helpful for you in the end. Right. Thank you to Katia as well. So I'm going to open up the lines real quick. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will, before I go any further. Anybody have any questions? or comments, anything you want to share? Katia, would you share your comment that because Katia had a really good experience. I hope you don't mind, Katia. I'm not going to put you on, I'm just going to open up your audio. I'm not going to put your video. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can do this right. Oh, good. She's not on. Okay. I'll unmute you. Okay. Katia, are you on?
Yes.
Katia, would you share with our listening audience the experience you had about a podcast?
Oh, yes. So a little bit about my upcoming business. So I'm doing a career coaching business that's focusing on cybersecurity professionals. So I've been very active on LinkedIn due to my unemployment I was going through and also my blog series that I have. So I had a random person that has a cybersecurity podcast reach out to me this week about being interviewed for one of their series that's called Women in Cybersecurity that I actually did yesterday that
Awesome.
was based out of Denver, Colorado. So I was very excited about that.
Okay, very good. And did the information that we've been going through this week, did that help you at all?
Yes, that did help out a lot.
All right. See, proof positive. It's all for nothing. It's not the case, right? So just these little things, you just never know. And again, when you start to put your positive energy out there, you're going to attract the people that she's. Now, Katia's a little bit ahead of the game. I'm not going to steal her thunder in any way. She's already been doing some blogging, and she's got her profile really, I'm sure she's tightening it up now that she's got some new nuggets of information on her LinkedIn page. But these are some of the things that can start to happen for yourself. It's just, staying focused and getting in the groove. And that's what this particular exercise is all about, as well as some of our future offerings as well. So thank you for sharing, Katia. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get down to, let me get to my next slide. So many people have dreams of starting their own business, but starting a business can be scary, right? It can be a little daunting because it's like, oh my God, how am I gonna get all this done, right? But so most people just don't even bother to pursue their dreams because they just think it's too much to execute, which is really not the case. But it is one of those number one fears that are out there next to public speaking, believe it or not. There are a lot of people who just have a fear of failure, as well as having some self-doubt and lacking those things. But you can learn a step-by-step how to start your own business here inside of the Women Getting Mad with myself as Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. Let me close this up a little bit. And also just a couple of benefits I wanted to kind of bring to your attention is there's a huge amount of benefits about starting your own business. And for those of you who are on the call, in the way that this particular group is designed, it is for women who are aspiring to start their business while they are working a full-time job. And that's important to know. So you'll be transitioning, and so there'll be this moment in time where you'll go from employee to employee with a side hustle to full-time entrepreneur. And so you're going to go through these phases. And there's going to be some ups, some downs. You'll have set your own deadlines, which is totally, everybody here is here for their own goals, and I'm here to support you in that by way of these learning experiences. But down the line, you're going to be able to spend more and more time with your family and friends, depending on the type of business that you're generating. Also, it does take time. This is not a fast generating process. I'm not making any promises about how much money you'll make in 6 to 8 weeks, anything along those lines. That's not what this process is about. Going into business for yourself does take time. It's the way in which you go about it that's going to make the difference for you. So the different reasons why everybody has come here tonight to start their journey, they all vary. But whatever it is that you're looking to do, you want to take advantage of it when the time comes before you. And taking in the positives as well as some of the negatives as well. But you each have such wonderful, great ideas that it's going to just take a little bit of time for you to get that done. With the right support, it's always possible for you to create and launch your business, that you'll have the lifestyle that you are, that's going to change your life for the better as well. And so how do we get that done? So here at the the Women's Getting Mad and myself, I'm offering an 8-week masterclass to start your own business step by step. It is the Dream Launcher's Journey. It's an opportunity for you to learn and grow, making your dream a reality and getting your business off the ground. There are many of you who have a dream to set up a successful business and the way of life that you've always wanted to do. And this masterclass is going to take you through those essential steps that's going to get you started and on your way. Now, some of you have shared with me over the course of these 5 days what are some of the challenges or the fears that you have for planning and launching your small business. Some of them can be anywhere from time is always an issue, and unfortunately I can't change that for you at all. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. However, it's about how you're able to manage that time and give the proper commitment that's going to be necessary. So, you know, as we say in technology, garbage in, garbage out, good information in, good information out, quality commitment in, quality outcomes out. And so all those kind of still hold true. So the other one may be being overwhelmed and not having the time to get everything done. So there is a lot of pieces to get done, but this is why the 8-week masterclass is really designed for you in mind. It's to chunk them down, pace yourself, not to get overwhelmed, but to provide you some systems and structures so that you have all of the information and how you can start to build the systems you need in place to get your business off the ground. Also, not having that clear plan to ensure success. And that's what is probably one of the critical things that happen to most people when they start a business. And many times is they start a business with no plan. They start with the idea, but no detailed plan with any real specificities. And many times I tell my clients is, you're not running a business, your business is running you. When you're not able to set up processes and operate from them so that you're not being derailed, then you're not really running your business is running you. And some of you want to get it right the first time. And that is a critical reason why I started to do this particular exercise as well, is that I want to help you along the way and be your coach and your mentor and give you that guide on the side that you can make those particular successes happen for yourself. And some of you may be a little self-conscious about or getting into that habit, like I mentioned earlier, about telling people what it is that you do and wanting to have a strong message. And it comes with practice. But again, these exercises we've done over the past 5 days are really going to help you to formulate them as well. And of course, there's finances, right? You want to do, how is it that you're going to start up? If for those of you who, depending on the type of product or service that you're providing, it's going to take some startup cost as well. So some of the things that you'll learn during this 8-week master class is you're going to be able to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. And you also want to be able to understand and develop those processes. You don't sabotage yourself, and you can be, so that you can become successful when you start. And you want to combine your lifestyle vision with the values that you're going to create for your business. And what I mean by that is, the whole point of going into business for yourself is obviously you want to be your own boss, but that also means that you want to take those values that you hold true to your personal life and how is that going to transcend into operating your business. And then of course you want to find a business that uses your strengths and your talents, and why we really focused on a lot of that during day 1 for yourself. That's also going to be important. And also you want to clarify the business ideas that you have so that you can take those strengths and those talents and get them really positioned so that you can have a clear message to those you're wanting to serve. and that you can bring in the income that you're desiring as well. Other outcomes is you want to be able to design that viable product or service to kickstart your sales. And so we're going to be focusing on that, your product design or the product itself. What is it that's going to, you want to put first and foremost in front of your customers so that you can start to generate the revenue that you want. And also, what are some of the legality pieces of the business, your basic branding, in order, it needs to be get those pieces in place as well. And also, target marketing is the other one. I'm sorry, reading off the wrong screen. Your target audience and defining who that is, because you need to know who you're selling to. The better you know your target audience, the better you'll be. And you also that you have a profitable niche. That goes back to your strengths and your talents, and really honing in on the things that you're going to be the expert on, so that you can design and select your business model that's going to fit best for you with respect to the type of business that you're trying to represent. I'm sorry. And then again, like I said, your viable product, what is it that you want to be able to sell and get that ready and out the door for purchase? And we'll work through those exercises as well as those legal aspects and your branding basics. All righty. Another learning objective that we're going to delve into is setting your value-based pricing. Pricing is usually pretty difficult for people when it's not something that you do day to day. And some people like, I don't know how to price things. Some of them you may not have a problem with because you can set things based on an industry. So we'll really have an opportunity to kind of go through that exercise, and also formulating your marketing plan and what that's going to need to look like, so that you can have a process in place so that you can, based on your viable product and you getting your pricing right, then you're able to put things out to the marketplace. And then obviously setting a date for your launch and planning that particular piece out as well. You also, once you've launched your business, you're going to want to be able to check and monitor the progress, what we call metrics, that are going to be able to determine whether you're staying on top of the revenue goals, that targets that you're setting for yourself, and also that you're ensuring that you're making the monies that's coming in on a regular basis. And again, this is over time, but I'm setting you up with the systems and structures by way of each week we're delving into different topics and exercises for you to produce those particular bits of information in a way that can be conveyed to your customers. And then by setting up those systems, you're able to increase your efficiencies and save you time, which then can save you money. And then you could be at your peak performance to perform those services and or producing the products that you want. Make sense? Let me stick here to my chat. Make sure I don't, here we go. Katia. Pricing is important, yes. Time is money. You are so right about it. Thank you, Cecilia. The 5 days has poised you to some important questions that you're going to really need to address. You're right. And that's, again, what this is all about, getting those juices flowing, because you just can't come off the street and say, I'm in business for myself. I want you to set yourself up so that you could be successful. And it just takes some time to be reflective, journal and write things down, and so that you can have everything aligned and ready for you to do the work. So that's you're already part way there. So great. So here's a question. When most people have projected start dates, which one of these do you fall into? And for those of you who are on the call and are not able to watch the video, I'm sharing with you some of these outcomes. So less than 6 months from now, 11% of people who say they want to start business for themselves have projected start dates. And here are some of the windows. 11% say less than 6 months from now, where 12% have 6 months to a year from now. 20% of the population in the survey shared that they are about 1 to 2 years from now that they would start their business. more than 17%, 2 to 3 years, 16%, 3 to 5 years from now, 15%, 5 to 10 years from now, and then only about 6% have it 10 years out. And so where do you put yourself in one of those particular lanes? I want to go ahead and put that into the chat. Where do you see yourself as which window of time do you see being realistic, obviously? And again, everybody's on their own time zone, but Katia said now. Well, yes, Katia, in due time, but okay, really, okay, 6 months, awesome. And again, I understand, remember, I'm designing this for people who are working full time because I understand I've done it myself and I'm working my business too, right? So I want to be able to keep thriving in here while I'm helping other people, right? And so this is what makes it important. See, Cecilia said now as well. Is that what you're agreeing on, Cecilia? Great. So this just kind of gives you a sense for a mindset about where people are in their put off. But you can notice that the numbers are fairly close to one another. The people who were saying between, as early as 6 months to 2 years, that's still close to 50% of people who say they want to go into business for themselves are saying that they would do it within a 6 months to 2 year window, which is not a bad thing, particularly if some of that requires moolah. Let me just change this over for a second. So you know the old adage, time is money. So how much potential income do you see earning each week? Well, let me put it a different way. With time is money, how much potential income do you think you're losing each week that's passing you by? You do the math. If you set yourself up for a particular income, and right now in 6 months, how much income do you see yourself losing? Why don't you put that in the chat? I know it's a little bit of a head math right there, but again, the people who are putting it off in the 1 year to 2 years and 5 years, time will still pass you by, and the potential income that you have, even if it's transitioning from employee to the sidepreneur, to the solopreneur, it's still considered income, right? So we want to make sure that we can count it. And the reason why I want to see where you think, how much income do you think you would be losing as a part of that? I know you haven't gotten into any real pricing, but just in your head, you're thinking at least, okay, Katia's like, okay, at least $500 depending on the pricing. Exactly. Okay, so now you multiply that times 6 times 4 is 24. 24 times 5, and there you go. And so I put that out there so as a motivator, put it on a sticker and stick it on your computer or on your mirror at home as the amount of money you're losing every day you're not putting your business idea into play, right? I can't do that for you. This is your business, your plan, and your business idea. I'm just here to guide you as a coach and as a mentor. And so if that's your heart's desire, that's where you want to be, is being able to have that, generate that revenue in a significant way, then at least now you know that if that's the set goal that you're setting for yourself, now it's just a matter of how do you transition from 0 to that particular intended goal over that period of time. All right, so that's just another mental note for yourselves that I wanted to kind of drop in your heads. Okay. Okay, so speaking of money, the most common types of funding that are out there are as followed. Crowdfunding. If anyone's ever heard of that, crowdfunding is an opportunity for you to put your business idea out into this platform, and people, if you pitch it properly and people believe in it, that they're going to be able to give either their money or investment out of whatever you're doing, if it's a product, and they're willing to invest on the front end and getting something back in return, crowdfunding has been considered a viable option. But right now, it's only 6% of or some of these are the common funds that are available. And crowdfunding is not as significant, particularly for us who are going into a solopreneurship. But I want you to know that it's maybe depending on if you're a product producing type of solopreneur or entrepreneur, then they may still be a viable option for you. Bootstrapping, which is a business that's funding itself. So if you've never heard that term before, bootstrapping is 13% is a common type of funding that some businesses, small businesses going into themselves may utilize. Only 3% are getting it, a small business lender are getting that money as another form of funding. And then angel investors only make up 1.3% of the funding sources that are out there for people to gain money as a small business and getting help in funding their business. SBA loans, small business administration loans, again, 2.2% of that money is coming from those who are in the industry itself. And loans from family members, again, another 3%. So for those of you who think you're going to hit up your folks in order to get some money, only 3% of those who get as a funding source, it comes from that particular end. We have some very, how should I say, there are some parents that are out there who would love to start and launch your business for you, and let me know how that works out for you. Bank loans, rising a little bit more higher. Bank loans are 13%, are one of the more common funding sources for small business owners or potential small business owners as well. And in fact, on one of our future calls, I'll have a bank but VP on the line who can really speak to that. In fact, on one of my podcasts, I had him to really share about how banking lending, and the things that you really need to know and understand about what that really looks like. It was a very helpful conversation. And so I'll make sure to post that up into our Facebook group so that you can listen to it. And believe it or not, 53% of the businesses that are starting out there come from self-funding, meaning your own pockets. So that also means that a part of the process that we'll be going down is how do you make sure that your personal finances are in order as you start to pursue your business goals. For those of you who need more upstart monies than others, because it all is going to vary depending on the type of business that you're starting. So I wanted you to kind of know that as well. So which one of these funding sources do you see utilizing as your funding source? Anybody want to go ahead and type that into the chat? Of the common types of funding, which ones are you seeing yourself utilizing? Type that into the chat. We have small business lender. That means, again, somebody who's like a private investor or an angel investor is one. The Small Business Association, a bank loan, loans from your family, bootstrapping, self-funding, and crowdfunding. Okay, some people said SBA. All right, very good. And what we'll do is you'll start to see some information in my blogs. Self-funding, Cecilia, great. You'll start to see some information coming through on the posts and in blog posts and things like that. They'll come inside of your inboxes. I do a blog every week that helps entrepreneurs as well, so you'll see that. And I'll be touching in on all these things and actually taking you through, if for those of you who are interested, a challenge with respect to getting your personal finances in order so that you can qualify for that SBA loan and or bank loans and things along those lines, because that is an important aspect of it, and most people don't necessarily recognize that those are some of the things that you want to do. Okay. Okay, so that monthly income you want to be able to make once you start your new business, some of you shared that already on the line. So I want to see you show me the money for sure. So this is why it's important for you to go ahead and join me on this 8-week masterclass. And so my masterclass of 8 weeks starts for starting your own small business step by step. It regularly goes for $597. This is 8 weeks. You divide that, it's only about $75 a week. Today, if you register, I'm going to put the link up into the chat box for you guys. By registering today, the registration cost is only $237. That's 60% savings. So I want you to take advantage of that. I'm going to put hopefully I can do this. I might need to put a pause on my thing because of how I have to jump out. So let me give it 1 sec. It's the only thing I don't like about when you're on the WebEx. Let me see if I can get it to go. I think it's on another slide. Yeah, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna put the link to the registration up at the very end, but I want you to be ready to click on it because there is a timer on it because it's only going to be available for a limited time. I'm giving you guys until Sunday to register before I open it up to other people. And the masterclass is a limited population, so we'll be offering that. So those of you who have gone through the 5-day challenge, you're getting special pricing that no one else is going to get. So I do want you to know that. Here's another benefit of being inside on the call today, as well as being a part of the 5-day challenge, is there's a bonus offer. So there is a grant that has been designed specifically for women, specifically for women who are starting their business this year. This year only. That means I can't qualify for it. I'm mad. But if you start your business after January, I think it's January the 20th of 2019, you are qualified to apply for a $5,000 grant. And I'm going to be able to be there as a part of you coming into the master class. I'm going to help you apply for that and get you all situated up with your plan so that you can apply for that $5,000 grant that just came out this week. So I'm excited for you because I can't get any of it because I already started my business. But if you have any friends and they're wanting to start a business, then they got to come through me to get the $5,000. Okay, hold on. I got people chatting on the phone. Let's see what we got here. Okay, cool. Okay, nice. Very good. Yes. So what does that mean? That means you got to get your plan, set it up, and you need to execute your business and all those other things that's there. Oh, I got a hand raised. Okay, Mr. Felipe is on the line, my business partner. Hold on. Let me see what we got a question here. I'm going to unmute you, Felipe. Maybe. Come on, unmute, unmute, unmute. There you go. Why is it not doing it? Okay. All right, it's a little bit delayed. Hold on a second. Is it coming off? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I have to unmute somebody else for it to work. I don't know. Won't let me unmute you. Type in. I don't know. You may not be on a You may not be able to type because you may be on another device. I can't unmute you, Felipe. I'm so sorry. Just hold on for a second. I'm hoping. I don't know why the system won't let me unmute you. I'm clicking on it. It won't let me unmute you. Let me unmute somebody else and maybe. Okay, I'm back. I don't know. I can't get you unmuted, Felipe, but hold your question, okay? Because I'm going to make it work. Just give me a second. All righty. So yes, so that's one of my bonus opportunities. It's not my offer, but I'm here to impart knowledge. That's one of the great things I love about being a coach and a mentor is that when I get to find out cool things, I get to share it with the people who mean the most to me. So, all righty. Did you, can you unmute yourself, Felipe? I don't know, maybe, because I muted him on the line. Try unmuting yourself on your phone. That might do it. If not, if you can, I don't know, he might be on a device and he can't chat into the room. So, but we'll take care of it. If nothing else, I'll add it to any information that he shares with you guys. I'll put it up inside of our group, so no worries whatsoever. I don't want to hold this up. Okay. So I'm really excited about the grant application that is out there for you guys. Okay, so action plan. Putting everything that you've worked so hard together this week. What does that look like, right? Okay, so another thing, I'm excited. All right, let me see if I can collapse this real quick. So one of the ways that you can start to share your story is with one simple sentence. That's right. You did all that right, and then you're saying, what? One sentence? What are you talking about? That's right. You can tell your story in one simple sentence. And you're saying, how is that possible with all this huge amount of information that I have? Well, I'm going to tell you. When you take all the bits of nuggets of information that you have, and sometimes you only have a very short period of time to tell people who you are, what your company will do, and what type of a problem that you're solving, and how that problem gets solved. And so you can say all of that in one simple sentence. So we're going to pull all that information together, and I want to take you through a quick exercise, okay? So let me take you over here. So again, we're going to combine who you are, what your company will do, who you serve, the problem you solve, and how you solve that problem. How do you push all of that information into one sentence? It's pretty easy, and you're going to be like, wow, I didn't know it could be that easy. So here we go. You ready? All right. Here's the format. My name is X, and my expertise is in X, and I help people do X. So who you are, the company that you are working for yourself, who you serve, or the problem that you're solving, and how you may solve that problem. Now, think about first the benefit first of what you do, how you're impacting the world, and go deep is the first X, okay? Is the who you are or what you do. And then 2 is the what you do, and the 3 is the benefit of what you do. So let me go back. Notice the sentence structure. My name is X, that's the who you are, and my expertise is in X, what your company does, and then I help people to what? Who you serve, problem you solve, or how you solve a problem. It could be any one of those, the combination of the 2. So with that said, here's an example. I help couples feel the love they had for each other when they first met, no matter how many years they've been together, and I do it through counseling them. I'll read it out again. Here's an example for a love counselor or a relationship counselor, right? I help couples feel the love they had for each other when they first met, no matter how many years they have been together, and I do it through counseling them. That is way better than you telling somebody, I'm a relationship coach. They're like, so? You're a relationship coach. There's a whole bunch of those out there. But when you formulate it in that context, it shapes a whole different idea in somebody's head, doesn't it? Any feedback on that? How does that one sound as an example? Anybody have any feedback? I'll give you another one. And then I'm going to have you guys to start thinking about how you may want to do yours, okay? Here's another one. Okay, here's mine. I am the Keep It Simple coach that hosts 5-day and 8-week programs for aspiring small business owners, teaching them skills and strategies to plan, launch, and grow a new and profitable business. See how you tie all those bits and pieces into one sentence? And it's not too hard. I just gave you the format, right? So here's another one. I'm a writer for a branding company that teaches bloggers and small business owners how to better brand themselves using graphic design, photography, and social media skills. I'll read that one again. I am a writer for a branding company that teaches bloggers and small business owners how to better brand themselves using graphic design, photography, and social media skills. Now, a person can think a lot of things just off of that particular example, right? I see that, and when you hear that I work for a branding company, I would imagine in my head, that's a big company that person probably works for, right? And also the niche that they've already identified for themselves is also what is a part of that particular construct for their particular statement of their one sentence statement. They help and teach bloggers and small business owners. So that's their niche, okay? And by using graphic design, photography, and social media skills. So now they're telling them how they get to do it and also telling them about their struggle, right? Because they're saying to get better branding of themselves is their problem that they're solving. Make sense? Okay. All right, Kadi, you got one? I'm a career coach who helps people who are transitioning from cybersecurity or newbies who are interested in the field. Great start, Katya. And so this is another exercise. So if you want to share yours, anybody else who's on the call and they want to share theirs, they're welcome to do so, or post it up inside of our Facebook group is another good way to kind of get it structured. But this is, again, your calling card, your information. You're telling your story in one simple sentence, and you have it in your back pocket. Eventually, you have to keep saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it in order for it to start to roll off your tongue, and you can write it from memory. Remember, the elevator pitch, this is kind of like your elevator pitch in one sentence. And it's a really cool trick. Write it down, put it on a little index card, always keep it in your wallet or your purse, that you're always looking at it and saying it aloud when you're in the car driving, while you're on the train going to work, whatever you're doing. And so that, again, someone's gonna always ask you, you never know, you're sitting next, especially if you're in a commuter. If for some of us on the call, you're commuters and you're on like the metro trains and things like that, or on the bus, you never know who you're sitting next to. And don't take that, people who, well, especially if you're up north more so than down here in the South area, commuters are of all financial and all types of job positions. So it's not a class thing as much as some people might think. People just don't drive cars when they don't have to, when they're trying to get to a destination and they don't have to get into the whole traffic world, unlike some of us down here in the South. We don't have this great mass transit area. So you never know who you're going to be sitting next to. You never know who you'll be introduced to at a party or at a networking event or at a meeting or at church. You never know. So this is a great exercise for you to facilitate. So again, I want to just give you the opportunity to join me and so that you can tell your story in one sentence or more by attending my 8-week masterclass to start your business, the Dream Launcher's Journey. Again, regular price is $597, but today you have our discounted price is going to be $237. That is 60% off. I'm a crazy lady for giving it away for just $237, and you'd be crazy if you didn't answer it. But anyway, so I'm going to put the link up into the chat. Let me see if I can get this to work. I want to thank you guys for participating in this week inside of our 5-day challenge. It was great to meet each and every one of you. You all did awesome. Don't forget to post your finished assignments up into the Facebook group so that you can qualify for the prizes that I told you about in the first email. Go back to email number one. Email number one, I told you about all the freebie stuff I was giving away if you finished all the assignments. And so get in where you can fit in. You still have, and I'm going to even extend it. I'm going to give you to tomorrow, at least for those who don't. If you get it done today, you qualify for prize number one. The other ones I'm giving you until tomorrow night, midnight, to finish all the assignments, and then you're going to be able to qualify for prizes levels 2 and 3. Okay, just because I'm so excited and I'm wanting you all to, fulfill your own self. Plus, these are your notes. This is stuff that's going to help you because when you come into the master class, we're going to be on and popping. Okay. And don't forget that you can join, if you're some of you who are on the call, if you haven't already done so, please join me and others in womengettingmad.com. It'll take you to the Women Getting Mad Facebook group that I've started. We're a new group. We're excited. I'm excited to have you on. Tell your friends, tell your family. Don't have them. It's a free group, but they do need to answer 3 questions to get in. And I really, really appreciate you guys coming onto the call. I'm going to see if I can take, let's see if it's gonna let me do it. Hold on. I think I gotta go over here. Hold on one second. I think I can copy and paste it into the chat real quick. Yes, I can. Yay, yay for me. Okay, here we go. Here is the link that's gonna let you to register and pre-register for the 8-week masterclass. So please click on the link inside the chat, you guys. You get a pop-up screen, give me your name, your email address, and it's gonna hold your spot for you. And then you'll get an email from me so that you'll get your registration, your payment link. I'm sorry I wasn't able to put that into the system today. The system just was not being nice to me, but I'll have your email, name, and number, and this is gonna hold your spot, and that's what's most important, and I don't want you to miss out on that, okay? So again, it's a pleasure to meet you guys. I'm looking forward to working with you guys in the 8-week masterclass. And if you have friends, they didn't have to come to the challenge. They can actually, if you get a friend and they sign up for Sunday, they too can get the discount. I'm extending the discount to the friends and families of those who were able to get onto who were part of the 5-day challenge this week. So with that said, again, I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of my week and helping you all out. And I'm excited to work with you some more. So with that, I'm going to say bye-bye and thank you again. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye-bye.